Yay.
Wow, there's a baby, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, interesting ending. I didn't know he had a child with
Mm.
Vix. Mm.
Yes. So it seems like Andor has a kid with Bix.
Mm.
Interesting.
Mm.
But yeah,
I
that
know.
was a
Look, yeah,
solid series.
Yeah, very good series, and I've liked all the episodes. The pacing overall of this season has been so much better, and yeah, it just yeah, there was a lot of really great scenes as well. In especially like the last four episodes have been, quite intense actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and like leading up to Rogue One. So we
Mhm.
got K2SO in
And we finally
this
got Kate,
arc.
the Kate that we know from Rogue One. Yes. So that
Yep,
was good. So we got to see how he became
yep,
um Kate. So cool. And
and
of
behold,
course
we
we've
we
heard of Galen Erso. It's mentioned in this as well.
and the Death Star.
uh
The Death Star. And they
yes,
said it. Yeah, the Death Star.
Yeah, they
Yes,
finally said it.
And we said it. So,
uh, we now have a Death Star.
so we know now that that's what it was building up to. Um, but
And we
yeah.
actually got to see it.
Mm.
Yep,
Quite
and
sad that Luthen died before he could see, the whole plan sort of work out that we saw in Rogue One,
yep,
where Andor and Jyn Erso managed to steal the plans for Death Star.
and they also said the words as well. May the Force be with you. Finally.
Finally, and then we heard that famous phrase,
Oh,
"May the Force be
okay.
with
Yeah,
Andor,"
I don't think I fit that.
because they hadn't really said that all series until this moment. So.
Oh, no, yeah, I did hear it. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, we didn't hear it until now.
Mm.
Considering that Star Wars.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
the
have to have
biggest.
it at least once, right?
You've
Yeah.
got to have that, don't you?
I
Mm.
really thought that girl was gonna actually die and not get back uh to tell the secrets of everything about the Death Star. Like,
Yeah, but Clea
she
managed to
was
make
so,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
she was so insistent on telling Andor about all the secrets, all the stuff about the Death Star. Hey, you gotta remember this. You gotta remember this. Yeah, remember this. Remember that. But yeah. So yeah, I was thinking, she's definitely gonna die, but she didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
mm,
No, luckily she made it back to Yavin, and yeah, so she corroborates everything that Andor told the rest of the senators and the
Mhm.
rebel leaders. So now we see Mon Mothma, Bail Organa, everyone sort of together.
Yeah.
We can see the alliance. You can see sort of their disagreements with Saw Gerrera
Mic's
about
off.
some of his
The
tactics.
mic's back on.
oops.
But that was really, yeah, but it was really great to see at the end that Andor meets up with Saw Gerrera and brings him back sort of into the alliance. Into
Yeah,
Yeah, because there'd been sort of that rift that you can see between Saw Gerrera and the rest of the Rebel Alliance. But then Andor goes over there to meet up with Tivik and and I think we saw some of that in Rogue One. Um, and that's sort of how Soger came back into the fold. So, yeah,
Hmm. Interesting.
yeah,
Yeah, I really enjoyed both of those episodes.
yeah. We really need to see Rogue One again after the conclusion of this to
Yeah,
yeah,
get that continuity,
yep.
and yeah,
Rogue, Rogue One, yeah.
And then we can see like in Rogue One all these sort of references to Andor
Yeah,
as well. Yeah.
yeah. I don't think they even planned Andor when they made Rogue One, but they ended up like creating like a cohesive type story.
Mm. But I feel like it really needed that kind of prequel as well because
Yeah,
Yeah.
the prequel of the prequel of the sequel
yeah,
or something.
because I think that
Yeah.
it makes sense to explore that history of the rebellion coming together and how instrumental Luthen was
Yep.
in that. Um,
So at this stage in history,
mm,
um, Luke Skywalker, his parents probably aren't even born, or
Uh,
grandparents.
no.
No, they'd still be around. They'd be around
they were,
already.
This
right.
is just when Luke is, you
Yeah,
know,
he'd still be like
Oh,
he actually probably wouldn't be that much older than when we first see him in episode 4.
yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah, when he's a kid, doing like chasing around, and we're winning that race.
Oh
Yeah,
no. This
No,
is
that
this
would
would
be
be
before you're thinking Anakin Skywalker. That's way
yeah.
before.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, Luke, does of course eventually become a pilot, just like Anakin and Andor. So he is, probably flying something at this stage.
Well, this
He
is
would have
when
No,
been,
he'd be on Tatooine still, like not
he,
found by
but he would be in Tatooine.
Obi-Wan is
Obi-Wan
gonna
yet.
find him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that would be like in the span of like maybe a few days then after Rogue One.
Yes.
And this is just before Rogue One now.
Yep.
Yeah. So we know that at least Luke is sort of in training of some sort. Um,
Well, the entire Endo series would be what, 3 years? Because each chapter is like a year apart.
yeah.
Yeah, year
So
apart, but the last one is essentially li-
right, yeah, right
right
up.
just right before
Right
Mhm.
before the events of Rogue One. Yeah.
the events of Rogue One. Yeah.
And then Rogue One ends just before episode 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
you
that's why I said like in the span of a couple of days, likely Luke Skywalker would be around
mm,
Mm.
in terms of the canon.
Yeah.
yeah. And then, meeting up with Obi-Wan and being part of and eventually his joining of the Alliance as well.
And then Leia getting the plans.
Leia, who's already probably part of the Alliance because
Mhm.
just by virtue of her adopted father, Bail Organa, part of the Alliance. So she would have been a part of it as well.
Yep.
She would have
Leia
been-
and Luke are uh, around the same age, aren't they?
They should
I
be the
think
same age.
They're twins, Luke and Leia.
Leia
So of
is
course they're the same age. Yeah.
slightly older than Luke,
No, they're
slightly
just
older.
no, I think Luke came first, doesn't he?
Hang on, no, they're brother and sister, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, they're
Yeah,
twins too, so they would be the same age.
Yeah, they were born at the same time.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, hang on, they're twins.
Yep.
Yeah, they were twins.
So non-identical twins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not I
Yeah.
know.
But yeah, they were born as twins. We kind of knew that for a long time
Interesting.
because
Well,
Padme was the
it-
mother.
before Star Wars came out.
But it's
How long
it's very
ago?
interesting to see this period.
Uh, how long ago did Star Wars actually come out?
Oh, 1977?
like the very first one.
Mhm.
A New Hope.
1977, I think, was when it was released. A New
That
Hope
was,
released.
Older than me. Mm.
uh,
Mm.
what's that?
Yeah.
40, 50 years. Oh my God.
It's been so many years, yeah.
Yeah, it's
But,
been a really long time.
but
I am. Oh,
it's been a lot of years.
so I guess you were all kids when it first came out.
No, some
Wasn't
of us
born
weren't
yet.
born yet.
Yeah,
Mm.
I wasn't around yet, I
Actually, none
think.
of us were born yet
Oh.
except Bill and
Except for you, Bill.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm just I'm just the old man that remembers when it was at the movies.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
awesome. Watching Star Wars in the
yeah.
theater. Mm.
So, what year did it the first one come out?
77.
Yeah. I think my dad saw it.
77. Okay, I was born in 63.
Yeah, so yeah, you were 14 years old.
Yeah, he would have been a teenager.
Yeah, yeah, I would have been still in Mossman High School. I hadn't gone to Knox Grammar yet. Yeah.
Knox
Oh
Grammar.
wow.
Knox Grammar. Wow.
Yeah. So
Yep.
Well,
I did my HSC in Knox Grammar.
Wow.
Yep. So apparently, when it was released in 77, it was just called Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
And then,
Yeah.
Not A New Hope.
It was renamed A New Hope in 81.
Oh, really? 81. Oh, yeah, of course, because all the sequels and stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
the second one was that Star Wars 2 or
no, Empire Strikes Back, you mean?
Yeah, Empire.
Episode 5. Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back.
okay.
And
Yeah.
then episode 6 was, I think,
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah.
I think I saw a few of them, and when Luke Skywalker became that young boy.
No,
Like
that
me.
was 2000 or 1999 or something.
Yeah, I mean, I just basically blew a fuse and just refused to watch it ever again.
Phantom Menace, yeah.
The Phantom Menace.
But no, that was Anakin as young boy, not Luke.
Yeah, that wasn't Luke.
Yeah, that was Anakin.
That was
Darth Vader.
Vader as a little kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, now we're getting like prequels of the sequels of this prequels of the.
Yeah,
did
you see that post where someone said this is prequel of a sequel to a something to a prequel to
Oh yeah.
It's a very, very long, yeah.
But Spaceballs did an even funnier one. Spaceball did an even funnier one.
Well, they talk about Andor.
Yeah. Did you see the teaser of Spaceballs 2?
I haven't seen it yet, no. But Spaceballs is, quite funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's just text, but it's absolutely hilarious because they like completely spoof on Star Wars.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's very funny.
Yeah, check it out. Like half of what they said was about Star Wars.
Yeah.
With all these prequels and sequels and everything like that, it basically turns your brains into scrambled eggs.
Yep,
But there's a lot of Star Wars lore.
Yeah, we do. But everything is starting to become those like universes. Like we even have side quills now.
Yeah, interconnected sort of stories and things like that, like spin-offs and
Yep.
But
Andor and Rebels are practically in the same time period.
Yeah, because of Rebels being and then there's Star Wars Legends too, so there's that side of it. And if you've got, did you guys watch Tales of the Underworld? because
Yes,
that was also
yes.
interesting.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I found the first
those
three
are
stories more
interesting.
interesting than the last three, but
Mhm.
I feel like the last three weren't really related, but the first three were.
Yeah, because those were more about characters that we didn't really know too much about, like the Underworld characters,
Mm.
which at least we get a bit more backstory of.
Mm.
Of Ventress.
Yeah,
So
I wonder if they're gonna have more of those tales.
I think they are. I think they'll do that
Probably
sort of
more.
sandwiched in between the main series. So like if
Yeah.
they do like say Ahsoka season 2, they'll do another set of those kind of tales as well.
Yeah, because we have like tales of the
Tales of the Empire, Tales of the Jedi. Well, Tales of the Jedi came first, then
yeah,
Tales of the Empire,
then Empire,
yeah.
then
Tales of the
Underworld.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mm.
Is that like Star Wars? I'm thinking of uh, Tales of something, which is like about 20, started about like 20 years ago, and it's like detective work and all that kind of stuff. Probably not the same thing.
Yep. But now everything is its own universe.
Yeah.
Like Ballerina is part of a universe as well, the John Wick universe.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of things now are in those universes.
Yeah. Everyone wants to do shared universe.
Mm.
Yep.
Mhm.
Most movies this year or like series are like in a universe as well now.
Yeah. That's I suppose it was started by Marvel, this whole universe sort of building,
Mm.
you
Yep.
know, thing. So
And
yeah,
it caught on.
hold on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or you could essentially say that Star Wars was probably first,
Hmm.
and
They
then they
started,
expanded on it afterwards.
hmm.
Oh yeah.
And then eventually it sort of spread as well to other series and yeah.
And Star Trek.
Well, Star Trek came
It's
first,
number one.
though, technically.
Mhm.
Yeah, well,
Mm.
I've always been a Trekkie.
Yeah,
Um,
1966.
yeah, been a
That
Trekkie
was even earlier, I think, Star Trek.
and a Whovian, like
Yep.
Doctor Who and Star Trek.
Yeah, Doctor Who is another one. They have that whole Who universe thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
definitely.
British. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Star Trek now, there's I say the whole movie with Michelle Yeoh, that
Oh,
Tingle movie.
that's really bad.
Yeah, I didn't like it. Like
Actually, I don't think
it
I
was
even
not
saw
great.
it yet.
You
I
haven't
haven't
seen
seen
it?
it.
Section 31, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I heard it was so bad that I was not
If
interested.
if you grew up with
Like
the original,
she was good in Discovery. I was
Yeah,
hoping for it.
she was okay. As the Empress.
Yeah, because her story arc in Discovery was actually quite good. And then
Yeah, she went
what
bad.
happened?
Mm.
Maybe it was the writers, they didn't have.
Oh, they wanted to try something different, and
Yeah.
it didn't feel like Trek at all, I think.
Mm.
But anyway, let's get to
Yeah,
some
back to Star Wars.
Easter
yeah, yeah.
eggs.
Get to some Easter eggs now that we can
Easter
pick all of the
eggs.
Easter eggs.
There's going to be a lot of Easter eggs, I reckon.
Well, this
There's
will
quite a bit.
cover episode 10, 11,
38.
12.
Wow. That's
10,
amazing.
11, 12.
Yeah, the last arc of the series.
Yeah, that would have
Artisans.
buried a lot
Okay,
of
so
Easter
Saul.
eggs.
What's
Yeah,
this?
Jeddah.
Oh, Saul's Partisans.
Yeah, they were talking
That's
about they're on Jeddah, and
Okay.
also care the starship over the city.
Yeah.
We actually see the starship over the city in Rebels.
Yeah.
I mean, in Rogue One.
We actually, I feel like we saw this scene in Rogue One as well. Like,
Yeah, we see that
Yeah,
exact scene in Rogue One,
yeah.
so we know that they go to the city, And we also see the carrier over the city.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I remember seeing.
And that was where Saw Gerrera was.
Songwriter.
Fuel from Gorman.
And
And
decimating a
Kyber.
whole, decimating a whole planet. Just build a huge time bomb that Luke Skywalker's going to blow apart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Love Cat.
From Lethal.
Huh? Oh, yeah. That
Yeah.
thing was weird.
The love cat. Yeah, yeah.
Classic pet. Huh?
The last time I saw a love cat was wasn't it Sabine?
Rebels, Ahsoka.
Ahsoka's.
Ahsoka had it too.
We saw
Yeah,
a love
Ahsoka
cat.
had it.
And then of course we know that Galen Erso
Galen
was
Erso
the
name dropped
engineer.
several times.
He was the engineer for the Death Star, who was forced to be.
I didn't,
He deliberately created a weakness into the Death Star.
Yep.
So that
And Jeddah was destroyed by the Death Star, which we know.
okay.
Sheriff.
Scarif.
that's
What's scary?
and
The
that's
the
where
final battle spots of the whole Rebel Alliance. I mean, the Rebels.
and that's
Oh,
where Jyn Erso and Andor ended up going to steal the plans.
And dying there as well.
Yes, yes.
oh, the plans. Yeah. Hmm.
Luton killing Wong Hong
Yeah.
Jung.
Yes.
Yes. What was opening scene then?
Oh yeah, because in the
Remember when?
beginning scene, he actually killed someone.
Yeah, and that ended up, and that was Tuvik. Um, yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
that's kind of the opening scene.
yeah.
of-
So this was like just before
hmm.
what happens in Rogue One.
yeah,
So
Okay,
that is the person that he went to look for.
yeah.
TV. Yeah.
I see. I see.
Like the ending of Andor is just immediately before the first scene of Rogue One.
Hmm.
Yep. Same as how Rogue One is just immediately just before A New Hope.
So really, I mean,
It-
you could argue that Endor doesn't have a proper ending because the proper ending is Rogue One. So you have to watch Rogue One to get the ending.
It's Rogue One.
And sure.
Yeah, you could say that because it's not going to be a season 3 or anything because
Yeah.
they have nothing left.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
like the timeline has reached the end of that.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
they've tied up the loose end there, and sort of it goes straight into Rogue One at the end.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
I guess they're assuming that everybody watching this series has seen Rogue One.
Yeah.
Otherwise people watching the series will be like, is that the end?
Yeah. Well, I think that most people would have watched Rogue One first, or would be aware of it before they watched Andor.
Probably.
Like we saw Rogue One
I,
first.
I was actually expecting a different ending because it seemed incomplete to me at the ending because I'm just not into Star Wars. Like I'm all of Star Wars. So yeah, to me just seemed a bit lacking.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Like,
even if it was lacking, the additional movie is actually available.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of people
Okay.
say Rogue One is one of the best ever movies in Star Wars.
In the
Okay.
Star Wars canon, I would say it's
No, I can find that and watch that, I guess.
Yep.
Mm.
But essentially, I'm assuming that a lot of people would be watching Rogue One just after watching Andor.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why some people even watched Andor was because of Rogue One, like because they saw Rogue One and therefore wanted to know more about Andor.
Yeah,
So they watched the series because we
like
don't get his background story in Rogue One. We only get
yeah,
it in the book.
and we see
So,
him die in Rogue One. So
Yeah.
so seeing Rogue One, they wanted to see the prequel to
Mm.
Rogue One, which
Yeah.
It's one of the more
was
compelling characters
yeah, it's
in
a
Star Wars
prequel of the prequel
Yeah,
universe.
it's a prequel to a prequel to
in a
a
sequel.
sequel to the prequels,
Yeah.
something like that.
uh,
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting. Yeah.
George Lucas is nuts.
Wow.
Yeah, well, George Lucas isn't like the main writer for it anymore. It's like
Tony
a
Gilroy
combination of co-writers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Tony Gilroy was the main writer of Andor. So he's the head writer.
Yep. So he's the writer of the series, but several legends that they get off it was from other writers.
Yeah.
Who's this guy? Autolan Bleeder, not to fit Kit Fisto's species. Oh, Bleeder knife.
Okay.
I didn't know that. Jedi
I did
Master
not know that.
Kit Fisto.
Kid Fisto was the Jedi.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that's a knife.
Kid Fister.
That's
And
a
then
Jedi
we got
Master.
that Imperial Starcraft unit.
Uh oh. Wow, all the way back to season one. Season one, episode one.
Hmm.
The Star Path unit. Gungan Skull.
That was a Gungan skull. Wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Luton's origins.
What does it look like if it's got flesh on it?
Jar Jar.
What was
Jaja Jaja Binks.
what's the
Jaja Binks.
Yeah.
The
Huh?
annoying Jaja Binks.
Yep. Well, yeah, Darth Jar Jar.
Okay.
This is DH. Is it DH? Yeah, I guess maybe. DH
Yeah,
Luton.
they de-aged them. Like
Princess
it,
Surgeon.
they definitely de-aged several characters in the series
Hmm.
Yeah.
because they've gotten older since Rogue One,
Yeah.
No,
so
they
they have to like de-age them a bit.
yeah.
Does he become Luther? Oh no, no,
Luther
no.
used to be in the Imperial Army
Um,
himself.
um, who, um, who's the real bad guy in black?
Right?
So it kind
Uh,
of reminds me of like when Finn used to be an Imperial stormtrooper, but then changed sides. So you can
Yeah.
see that that's how Luthen started as well, being part of the Imperial Army, and then eventually becoming a rebel.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed they also de-aged Krennic as well.
Yeah, they
Like
did too.
you could tell.
Yeah, he definitely looks younger, but it makes sense, of course, that they had to do that. So
Yeah, but it kind of looked unnatural a bit, but it does still look better than what they used to do before with the de-aging.
yeah, I think the technology is slightly better now.
Yeah, I think before they had like a really bad like person who did did all of the de-aging.
Yeah,
But
I
then
think they've improved a lot.
after the horrible thing that they did uh in the Mandalorian when they de-aged people there, they actually got a proper person to de-age a lot better in like a span of a few hours.
Yeah. No, I'm really glad that they finally got that right. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, they hired the guy who like fixed it for them
yeah, it's hilarious.
because they failed so badly the first time.
Mm.
So it does look better.
Yeah, for sure. It looks better.
rejuvenate sounds a whole lot better than DH.
Hmm.
What do you
Hmm.
reckon?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Lina Saw Hospital. Okay, Chancellor Lina Saw. Interesting.
I did not know that.
Devaronian Victory Necklace, classic Star Wars species. Oh
A lot
yeah,
of things.
the red
I've seen it before,
dice.
but I don't even know the name of the thing.
Bombing on Naboo.
Yeah, so that was Naboo.
Naboo, yeah. I knew there was something
Yeah,
familiar
the,
about it. It
the,
was,
the bridge. Yeah, the blowing up of the bridge.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, it's a
that's
pretty place.
that's where Jar Jar is. Jar Jar.
And that's where, of
Jar
course,
Jar
Padme is
Binks.
from. She was the queen of Naboo.
Padme.
Yeah,
Yep.
Padme.
Do it. Will we
Do
ever
it.
escape the meme?
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, the meme do it.
Who else
Oh,
knows?
what was the company that has the slogan "Just Do It"?
Nike?
Nike?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, Nike.
He question asked TV in what one? Oh, who
Yeah,
else knows?
uh,
Yeah,
yep,
predict.
Say the word. Death Star.
yep. Death Star finally said out loud multiple times over.
Yeah,
That's done.
yeah.
and we said it. Yeah.
And there's one tiny scene where you see like half of the Death Star.
Yeah, being built still.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see the part where Luke basically flies in and shoots his plasma things into the exhaust tubes or whatever they are to blow the whole thing up.
Yep.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, he blew it up. Such a bad weakness.
But of course, Galen, we now know that Galen Erso created that on purpose as an act of defiance against the Emperor.
5-5. Star Wars version of Pirates, guys. Maybe. Because Luke
Oh, that's the
Stellan's
game that
Skarsgård was
that's,
this guy
that's what
in
they were playing.
Pirates for the Caribbean.
It sort of reminds you a bit of poker, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a poker game.
Who? Poo.
Poker. The
Oh,
game they were playing.
oh,
Yep.
poker.
Yeah. Pirates dice.
Oh,
Yeah, they were
Perhaps.
playing it on the table, and K2SO was winning.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Palpatine, Krennic.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's Simon. Hmm.
Name drop. Yeah. K2SO.
At
Oh.
Empire Day.
Empire Day.
So he actually does remember his history.
Yeah. So he doesn't his memories aren't completely erased. It doesn't look like.
Oh, the robot. Yeah.
Yeah, K2SO. Luton's legacy.
Hmm.
Disliked by the Alliance, even though he was like the main reason the Alliance even exists.
Yeah.
Yes. Key
He was really
foundations.
yeah, he was something he was so instrumental in getting them together in the first place.
Yep.
Hmm.
This is a
Yeah, I thought that felt familiar. That felt so much like Darth Vader in
yeah,
the hallway.
yeah.
Yeah,
Always
he
seen.
gets
Yeah.
his own hallway scene too.
Yeah,
He
he
did.
sounded like so much like Darth Vader and everything.
Yeah.
I was wondering if he is Darth Vader.
Yeah.
That's
But
what
he
I was
was
saying
he was an
before.
Imperial droid, though, former Imperial droid, before they reprogrammed him.
Yeah, but this time he's a good guy.
Yes, this time he's on the side of the rebels.
How?
Oh.
Well, what the heck? What is the name? How Dok Draba Takat?
I would not have even gotten that at all.
Just call him
I didn't
Ko
recognize
Tao.
him, but I guess he was one of the.
That's a long name.
Yep, that's
Just a
definitely a
rebel.
long name.
But they didn't really focus on him. Obviously, he was just part of the scene.
So Scarif strike team. Mon, Bale, and Sword. The trio.
You see the three of them there.
Mm.
So they're together. Yep. Multiple Rock One style. End up catching up to Rock One. Yeah. Same costumes, hair.
Yes, I noticed especially the change in Mon Mothma,
Mm.
her costume.
Yeah, they probably decided to do that to keep it within the same like
Yeah.
structure because yeah, it would be quite weird if in the next scene they look so different.
Yeah.
But compared to like Bail Organa, he looks the most different
Yeah.
Oh.
because he's a completely different guy.
Yeah, because Jimmy Smits was the original actor who played Bill Organa. So and he was recast here. So
Yeah, they had to, so it was a bit of a tough decision, but they
yeah.
did find someone who looked quite similar.
Yeah, I think he looks similar enough that he looks like a young Bill Organa. Yeah.
Admiral Redis. Okay. Oh, one Last Jedi. One of the flagships named after him. Stolen ship on an unauthorized mission.
Yep, classic Andor.
This is so classic of him. Yeah. He always does this.
He always
Yep.
steals ships. Yeah.
I guess that's why it's like rogue, he is a rogue pilot, isn't he?
He's a rogue, is it? Mm.
That's why it's Rogue One.
Well, the next time he does it in Rogue One is, of course, the most important. That one is
That's how he got
the
the
Death Star plans.
Yep. He should have been the one who called it Rogue One, but instead it was that other pilot.
Ah,
That
Mm.
that previous Imperial pilot named it Rogue One.
General Merrick, referenced by Redis, another member of the Alliance High Council.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Rogue One senators, General Panel. Okay. Don't know why I don't the picture. Tivik.
Civic on Catherine,
Yeah.
the place that they started off in Rogue One.
Hmm.
Yes.
But considering now, like before when we first see when we first see Andor in Rogue One, we see him like kill someone, and we didn't really totally understood completely why.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because
So now we know who it is.
Yeah.
Now we know it's Tivik.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
the question is, did they already have that story in mind, or
they
they had
might
to?
they might have
They might have.
because now you could see the pressure that the whole Rebel Alliance was under. So
Hmm.
that that scene at the beginning of Rogue One makes more sense now.
This is essentially explains that backstory of why, he ended up killing Tivik.
Yes.
Yeah, like so quickly. It's like first scene with them. It's like what?
Yeah.
And now it makes sense.
Before leaving, they had a drink. So all the ones who died, Lieutenant Gorn, all these names. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Nemik's Manifesto. Mask of Fear. Mm, it's a novel.
So it was a canonical novel,
Not so-
Recently, yeah.
probably part of Legends as well.
Yeah.
Go Down Swinging. Bail Organa. Go Down Swinging is the Empire.
And of
It's
course,
but
Alderaan.
hey, yeah. It's like, hey, if we're gonna die, might as well go down fighting.
Yep.
Yep.
So, what one costume?
Yeah. Now I thought, oh, this is the Andor that we know from Rogue One. He looks.
Same
Yep.
jacket, holster, pistol.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Dedra in prison.
Yeah. So she's gone to prison now.
But like I was wondering about her at the end because like she was in that room and then all the lights just went off. And
Yeah.
it just seemed as if
This is the same person
you,
that
you didn't know what was going to happen to
No, it's the
her.
same person that Cassian was in.
Cassian was in. Yeah. This is the
Maybe.
same person. Isn't it
Similar,
weird?
or at least similar.
Yeah. But then again, we don't really know what happens to her then.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
she's just in prison and then we never hear about it again.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because she's
Well,
not referenced in Rogue One or anything.
It's
No.
not.
okay. Well, that's that's a bit of a shortcoming. I think. Yeah, just not letting us know what happened to her.
Well,
I suppose she just has to serve out her time there. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, she could have like I'm gone. Like they could have announced that she's either being executed or just jail for life. But
Yeah.
you like just sitting in
Looks
the
like
room and
looks like it's
like
jail for life. Just implying.
sitting in the room and the lights go out. That's no answer.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So probably he jailed for life or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So on Jeddah, similar to his shot from Rock One, looking out the window.
Yeah. There's another one that's very reminiscent.
And now here's the Death
There
Star.
we go.
Yep. Final stages of
That site
construction.
looks familiar with the Death Star. Yeah.
Yep,
Mhm.
Death Star.
And the big one, the baby. The
So
secret
it
child.
so it is Cassian's.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, who else could it be?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, with Bix, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly, Cassian endorse, meaning Cassian never knew the family he had waiting for him, which makes it quite sad.
Yeah. He never saw Bix again, and never got to meet his son. So it's
Yeah, that makes it even more sad because that was the previous arc, like
yeah.
7, 8, and 9
Yeah,
with Bix. And then she left.
yeah.
And he chose to stay away rather than visit her, even though he knew where she was, because he wanted to make sure she was safe. And
Yeah,
that
they even mentioned that in this episode,
It's
like right at
go
the
and
end.
yeah, said go and
Oh.
find her. Yeah.
and he thought, if he survived, if once this was all over, he was gonna go and find her, but he never got the chance. So that makes it very
That makes it sad.
more
Even
tragic,
yeah, more tragic.
and shows how much he sacrificed
Yeah.
for the alliance. He really
I
sacrificed.
thought it was her that left.
Yeah, she left.
Yeah, she
She
left.
did leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because Cassian was having second thoughts about
Yeah.
staying
And
in the alliance.
yeah. And he actually didn't want her to leave.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, what he wanted was that for them to
Yeah.
just go to some quiet place in the galaxy
Hmm.
away from all of this and just live like a quiet life together.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
felt like he was done with the whole Rebel Alliance thing. He didn't want to be a part of it anymore.
Yeah.
But then she left to essentially force him back into the alliance.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Cool.
yeah,
But I think
Yeah.
she left because she knew that Andor was doing it for the greater good.
yeah. She she said that she chose the rebellion. So yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. So it is heartbreaking, but
and yeah.
at the same time, the memory lives on in
Yeah.
some sense. Yeah. Mm.
Now, last week, you guys said that Andor dies.
In Rogue One.
Um,
Yeah.
Well, he does
uh,
in Rogue One. Yeah,
oh,
So this
so
makes it sad. This
he
is
never
infinitely
makes
sadder.
mistakes.
Yeah.
you guys misled me. I thought I was gonna see Andor die.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you haven't seen Rogue One, this doesn't feel like a proper ending because we don't know what
Uh,
happened to Andor. So you have to watch Rogue One to
oh,
get
Then you
okay.
know that he does never gets to see Bix.
yeah.
If I know that he dies, I don't need to see Rogue One.
Yeah, I know it's a bit of a spoiler, but I
Yeah,
think
Yeah, but we've been saying that since the start. Like we kind of knew
mm,
already.
Yeah.
Like since season one, we said that he will die.
yeah. But anyone who's already seen Rogue One before watching the Andor series knows that.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's the majority of the audience for Andor anyway.
yeah.
So definitely just go watch Rogue One.
Yeah. If you don't remember the events of Rogue One, because it's been a long time since people saw it,
It's
I
like
guess.
more than 10 years.
So, then yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's yeah.
Oh,
watch
I've
it.
never even heard of Rogue One.
Mm.
Did it come out to the cinema or what?
Yeah, it
Well,
did.
it says here that so May 13th, 2025 is 10 years exactly since Diego Luna was cast as the character for Rogue One. It's been a long time.
Yeah, but the movie came out 2016.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, nearly 10 years for that one. It's
Right.
close. It's like 9 years, which is why they had to de-age several of the characters. Even Krennic had to be de-aged.
Yeah,
And Saw Gerrera as well had a bit of de-aging as well.
I would say. Yeah.
And we also see like Galen Erso. We hear about Galen Erso, but we don't see him. But we know that that's Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, we do see him in Rogue One. Yeah.
And K2SO, of course.
Yeah.
The K2SO that we know.
So yeah, I'm glad to see him in this series. I wasn't sure whether they were gonna show him, but glad to see him.
Well, we kind of did know because, yeah, he was in Rogue One, so there has to be a way that he'd have to be introduced.
Yeah.
But I thought it would be earlier. I didn't think it would be this late.
Yeah. So he was really only picked up in Gorman. I didn't realize that that's how he came to be part of.
Yeah, so in Rogue One, then they probably only knew him for like maybe a week, a few weeks, a month, maybe.
Mm. Yeah.
Who knows? Like, well, within like the last year, so they didn't have K2SO for that long then.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't have been enough.
Anyways, it's getting late. Shall we get to our scores?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get to the school.
You guys first. Jeff? Bill?
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Jeff?
Yeah, I get pretty I guess let me do the whole series. I think it's only at number 8 up there. Yeah, it's very good. Leads up to Rogue One and gives a backstory of what happened there and the plans and all that stuff and how they develop characters. Um, and we just watched 11, 12, isn't it? Yeah, I think they're both pretty good too. Um, yeah, I'll give it around an 8 as well then. Yeah. So, mm, pretty good all round, yeah.
Yep. Bill?
Yeah, the last two episodes were pretty good, and some of the other episodes were very good also. But some episodes just really dragged on, and for me, the novelist Star Wars watch uh, some of it just didn't make sense. So for the whole episode, you know, um, uh, like so some episodes lows like 4 or 5, but others as high as 8 or 9. So for the whole series, I'll probably go for let's see, 7. Yeah, I'll give it a 7, solid 7
Oh,
for the series.
Steph?
I liked so I didn't give my scores yet for the previous couple of episodes.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But I love both of them. I mean, they were a little bit more action packed than these last two. But yeah, I enjoyed it. So I would say 8 for um
Hmm.
so it's
11,
9 and 10.
9 and 10. Yeah.
And then I would say, yeah, it's maybe 11 is a 7.5, and then a little bit higher for
12.
8 for the finale.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
But
Hmm.
overall for the series, yeah, I would say 8. I agree with Jeff. I've really enjoyed the series
Hmm.
overall. Yeah.
It's a good one, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. I liked season 2 more, just because there's so much more going on and you really see things moving at a much faster pace. And
Hmm.
there's a lot of, just dramatic scenes like what happened in Gorman. That was quite cinematic. And I think it was really well done. That's probably the best episode of the series. And then, yeah, just a great sort of transition from like this episode to Rogue One. I think it's, yeah, a nice way to end the series.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a
yeah,
good one.
and to kind of introduce us to Rogue One.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think for me it's yeah, like everyone said, it's a good lead up to Rogue One, a movie that is loved by a lot of Star Wars fans. So I thought it did a good job getting us up to that point in time. I think everyone's story arcs were tied up except for Andor because his will be tied up in Rogue One, not this series.
Mm.
Uh,
Hmm.
I think the season got better as it went along. So
Oh, yeah,
yeah, so the last few were actually pretty good.
got better, yeah.
Yeah, I think the highlight is probably still the
Oh,
massacre episode.
the
Yeah, that
rebellion
one.
thing,
Gorman.
insurgence thing, yeah.
That one
That
is
was a good one.
probably the high point
I thought of
of
the
the
whole thing, yeah.
season.
Hmm.
Absolutely, yeah.
But overall, these last two, I probably give well, maybe a 8.
Oh
The
wow,
entire season.
not bad.
Mm, it's good. I'll give it a 7.5 overall.
Okay,
Mm,
not
solid
bad.
score. Yep. I definitely enjoyed the series as well. Like this was definitely better than the first season. Like the first season dragged on way too long at points. This one, the pacing they definitely fixed up quite well.
Yeah.
So I definitely enjoyed it more. Like, and you get see the tension. Like each arc of 3 episodes is a year.
Mm.
So when Big slept, that was the year before that. So that's why she has a baby now.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But yeah, we do get a bit of conclusion to the stories that we kind of wanted for Rogue One, like who Andor was, like the whole creation of the Rebel Alliance and everything. I mean, we do get bits and pieces from like Star Wars Rebels as well, and even the Bad Batch,
Mm.
and yeah, we do get a bit more storytelling. Like Star Wars is getting back into like proper storytelling.
Yeah. I think that's been so good to see a return to that. Yeah.
Yeah, instead of like what 7, 8, and 9 did, which like threw everything out
Mm.
and want to try to start fresh. That didn't really work. I mean, it got the people, but not the fans.
Mm.
But yeah, this series like Andor, like he was already a beloved character in Rogue One,
Yeah.
and to see how it like translates into what's coming into Rogue One, the ending kind of fits.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, we do have like some like
Mm.
problems with storytelling. How we do want to know like what comes after and what not. Like what happens to Bix and the baby? Like will we see that's in another property? Maybe we do not know.
Yeah.
And how about I forgot the Imperial Guild's name in the jail
De
now.
Dedra.
Oh yeah, Dedra.
That,
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
don't know what happens to her
yeah.
after.
We don't know what happens to her. So there are some things which are like left unanswered.
Yeah.
And when they're creating a universe, that's also a problem
Mm. But it's possible that gets taken up in, yeah, like
in
what you
another
said,
property,
later series. Mm.
which might actually happen. Like, what if she appears in a property which is like years after, and then the name pops up, like the name of the baby pops up, and like
Mm.
maybe Ahsoka or the Mandalorian movie.
Yeah, that's right.
We don't know
We don't
because
know.
that's like years after as well. So that is technically possible if they
Mm.
want to do that.
Yeah,
Or maybe like another side quill because Star Wars Rebels and Andor it's practically in the same time window.
yeah.
They could essentially have like another property, like maybe during the time of like a New Hope, maybe,
Mm. Possibly, yeah.
or like a side quill of the movies.
Mm.
That is possible as well. Like apparently that's what I heard is what they're doing with Harry Potter.
Mm. Yeah, having a series
Yeah,
of,
they're having a series of practically the movies.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. Because they've had to choose new actors for the roles. So, yeah,
Yep, and they're making it longer because of the series instead of a movie.
yeah.
But yeah, I've heard that would happen. I don't really understand Harry Potter so much. I didn't really watch it. I never really got into it, but more into Star Wars and Star Trek and whatnot.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, this series, these 2 episodes, I'd give them both a 7.
Ooh.
Uh, the series overall, like, I scored a lot of them quite high. I didn't think I've rated anything like a 6. They were either 7s. So
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
7. 7 for the
7.
series.
Okay.
7
not
for the
bad.
series. Yeah. For the finale?
7.
Oh, everything 7. Okay.
Yeah, everything's 7.
It's a
What does IGN say?
it's about a it says the finale wraps up the amazing season 2,
Oh wow.
giving everyone a send off, but it's except for main character because the main character will get his send off in Rogue One.
Yep.
Well, he's getting sent off to
Yes, he's getting sent off
beginning
to
of
die.
program.
Who? Andor? No.
Andor deserves to, it says except for the last one. Yeah.
Except the last one, yeah.
Leaving the bulk of his ending, quote unquote, to Rogue One, which is appropriate because it's a prequel, right?
Yeah.
So
Rogue One is like Andor 3. No?
uh
Oh no, no,
well, yeah, well,
no. Anyway, don't.
season
Technically, yeah.
Anyway, don't
season
worry.
3 of Andor.
Yeah, it's practically season 3 of Andor.
Interesting. Not bad, huh?
Yeah, not bad. And then after that, watch the teaser for Spaceballs 2.
Oh.
That's The next series is Ironheart, isn't it?